Assalamu alaikum students. How are you? Hope you would be doing great and you would be learning from online classes. So we have been trying our level best to teach you so that your time may not be wasted during this pandemic coronavirus. So today it's our 7th lecture and the topic is same, research design, and within research design you are going to learn today, that is continuity in our previous lectures of research design. Today topic is scale evaluation. So how scale is evaluated. In last lecture you have studied the basic categorization of measurement, that was nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio, and then we discuss somehow on the scales. So this is a picture in front of you. As I have discussed with you guys that if you have seen any questionnaire, Likert scale type questionnaire, so you must have seen that there are some variables like customer satisfaction is a variable, customer loyalty is a variable, and these variables cannot be measured directly as you can measure heat, like temperature, like length, temperature, or any quantity like water which you measure in liters. They have specific measurement scales. However, there are many things which cannot be measured accurately in social sciences. The behaviors cannot be measured exactly. So for that, certain skills have been developed to measure all these things. And the variables which are measured indirectly, they are said to be as the constructs. So if I am saying customer satisfaction, customer loyalty, that is a construct. It cannot be measured directly, rather it is measured indirectly. So what do I mean by the indirect measure? Indirect measure means there are certain questions, 3, 4, 5 questions, and there's a process behind that, and there's a complete insurance, first qualitative, then quantitative, empirically all these tests are or these skills are tested properly. Their reliability, validity is checked, that either this scale has been made for the customer satisfaction and it is measuring exact customer satisfaction. So in social sciences these skills have been developed. So they are not so much easy to measure as you measure the temperature, as you measure any other scientific instrument which you have, like you measure length, you have exact measurements, you have inch, centimeter, meter, foot, whatsoever, you can measure different parameters. So in social sciences, when you are going to measure these constructs, it is very much important to consider reliability, validity, and from that generalizability. I have already discussed this concept with you guys, generalizability, in sampling, if you remember in my previous lecture. So today we will be covering reliability and validity. So this graph is giving you only the categorization what you are going to learn in reliability. These are the techniques, methods of reliability: test, retest, alternate form, internal consistency. These are forms. We are going to learn all these things in upcoming lecture. And in validity we have content validity, criterion, and construct validity. And within construct validity we have 3 kinds: in construct validity: conversion validity, discriminant validity, and nomological validity. So today we are going to learn reliability validity in detail. So last time we have covered our lecture on the measurement. So continuing previous concepts, I am going to deliver lecture on the basis of previous our understandings, which we have discussed on measurement. So what is measurement accuracy? We have discussed measurement. Now we are discussing measurement accuracy. How any measurement is accurate. So any model is said to be as the truest model when it provides a framework for understanding the accuracy of measurement, like XO is equal to XT plus XS plus XR. Now we are going to understand what is XO. So XO is the observed score measurement. Now what we mean by the observed score? As I have given you example of, let's say suppose we are going to measure the customer satisfaction and customer loyalty of City Shopper store. Okay, last lecture we discussed City Shopper. Now we have another Mall of Haripur. Okay, we are going to discuss that. Mall of Haripur is a new mall in Haripur, and they are going to check their customer satisfaction, customer loyalty. So there were 5 questions in customer satisfaction, and let's suppose 3 questions in customer loyalty, and there were 8 questions, and they were on the scale of 1 to 5, and the mean score came like this. So the questionnaire was given to the respondent or the customers of Mall of Haripur. They provided response. So what the actual score came from that? So let's suppose all the participants have provided data and the mean score. Mean, if I am talking about the mean, so you have learned in statistics subject mean. What is mean? Mean score is, let's suppose 4.2 of customer satisfaction and loyalty. 4.2 is what observed score. Observed scores. What do you mean by the observed scores? Means what people have responded. What in research it has been observed that they are satisfied customers and they are loyal customers of Mall of Haripur. So that is what observed. Questionnaire given to respondent, they return back and the score came. That is the measurement. What is observed? So there must be a true score. So what should be in every context? Let's say suppose you are going to ask from these customers, Mall of Haripur, and they have, let's say suppose, responded 4.2, and the true score is, let's say suppose, 5. So there's a difference of 0.8. So 0.8 difference may come from the systematic error and random error. XS is systematic error and XR is random error. And what is this systematic and random error? Systematic error is what you are using the tools, softwares, techniques, statistical techniques which you are using. Not a single thing can measure you exactly. There will be always a systematic error and random error. Without that, you cannot calculate exact true score of anything. You will always find out systematic and random error. Always there is a struggle to minimize the systematic error and minimize the random error and bring out the picture near to true score. So here comes what is difference between systematic error and random error. As I have already told you that systematic error comes from the tools you are using, and random error is what always when you are going to calculate anything, you are going to calculate customer satisfaction, customer loyalty, there will be some random error. Okay, an error coming from using system or techniques, there is systematic error, and an error in calculating anything may come randomly. They may be from respondent, they may be from the researcher, that may come from instrument, that may come from anything. So there's the room for that. So you have understood what is meant by XO is equal to XT plus XS plus XR, and their complete understanding what they represent. First of all, we are going to discuss what is reliability. It can be defined as the extent to which measures are free from random error. Now, when you have understood what is random error, it is very much easy to understand for you. Reliability. Usually use for that. You have discussed this data, how much that data is reliable. You are giving the reference of this thing, how much that reference is reliable. Usually you talk in about religious affairs. Okay, you have provided this source, but how much that is reliable source? So what is reliable? The extent to which measures are free from random error. And obviously there cannot be 100% reliabilities. They are calculated as from 0 to 1. 0 to 1 means usually 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. 0.8 I am talking about here means 80%. Okay, 80% is reliable, 90% is reliable, 60% is reliable. Less than 60% is considered as not reliable in research perspective. In social sciences, till 0.60 is okay, 70 is up to standard. In somehow researchers say 0.60 is also acceptable, but mostly 0.70 and it means 70% is considered as acceptable, and 0.80 is good, and 0.90 and above is excellent reliability. So here it is written if XR is equal to 0, the measure is perfectly reliable. So random error is 0. So that is not possible. Obviously that may come from 90, 92, 95% like that, but there is a chance of random error. So this is a technique. In previous PPTs you have seen the kinds of PPTs, kinds of reliability. So first is test retest reliability. What is done in this kind of reliability? In this kind of reliability, first an instrument is created. Let's say suppose a questionnaire is developed to test the customer satisfaction, customer loyalty of Maula Faripur. A questionnaire was developed and it was tested in January, and it is tested in again, let's say suppose in March, and both data is compared. If the results are consistent, match with each other, or the percentage they are matching, so that is said to be as the reliable. Test retest. First time you have tested, you have collected the data from the same participant, and once again you are collecting the data from those same respondents, and you are matching that data. That this is said to be as the test retest reliability method. Respondents are administered identical sets of scale items at two different times, and the degree of similarity between two measurements is determined. This is what written in English. This is another kind of reliability, alternative forms reliability. Two equivalent form of scales or constructs and some respondents are measured at two different times, with the different forms being used each time. This is same like the first one. However, you don't have same type of scale. Two equivalent form of scales, there are two scales of a construct and the same respondents are measured on different time. So the difference is only equivalent form of two scales are constructed. Here are kinds of reliability, how it is tested, or what do you mean by the reliability? The first concept is internal consistency reliability. Internal consistency. The internal consistency in the data. Normally it is defined as what is reliability. Reliability is the internal consistency of the data. In layman language, you can say. It determines the extent to which different parts of summated scales are consistent, in which they indicate about the characteristics being measured. So now we are taking same example of customer satisfaction, customer loyalty measured from the respondents or customers of Mall of Haripur. Let us suppose we discuss the 5 questions are in customer loyalty. So usually people are going to respond on 3 4 5 3 4 5 yeah, or 3 4 3 4 3 4 3 4. So this is the internal pattern. It shows consistency of respondent. If let's suppose if a customer is going to respond on 1, second 2 and third 4 and the 5 on the 5th one, and you are collecting, so this is not consistent. Each respondent is giving different response. So this is not internal consistent data which is coming to you. Second is split half reliability. The item on scale are divided into two halves and the resulting half scores are correlated. Two halves are created. Let us suppose you have collected 100 data from 100 respondents, and you will divide 50-50 and you will run the reliability test. You will check the reliability and then you will see the correlation between both of them. If both are correlated with each other, so you are going to find the reliability or the percentage at which they are correlated. Second is coefficient alpha. Usually it gives you statistically. SPSS software has this technique, Cronbach alpha, very easy to calculate. In this, two split half coefficients are created by the software, and this coefficient varies from 0 to 1, as I have already discussed. I have already discussed with you that 0.60 or less generally indicates unsatisfactory internal consistency. Above 0.60 is considered. However, from 0.8 to 0.9, 80% to 90% it is considered good. From 90% to above it is considered excellent, and from 70 is acceptable, but somehow in social research, social sciences, 0.6 or 60% is also considered is acceptable. What is validity? We have discussed reliability. What is validity? Validity of a scale may be defined as the extent to which differences in observed scale scores reflect true differences among objects on characteristics being measured rather than systematic or random error. Perfectly, validity requires that there be no measurement. So in one of our first PPTs we have discussed measurement errors. So if there is no error in measurement error, it is considered to be as the valid. Validity has also some kinds. First one is content validity. It is a subjective and systematic evaluation of how well the content of a scale represents the measurement task at hand. I'm not going to explain, it's not so much difficult. Criterion validity is reflect whether a scale performs is expected in relation with other variables. So I gave you example of reliable customer satisfaction and customer satisfaction and loyalty, customer loyalty. So these are two separate constructs or separate two variables. So they may not match with each other. They must be different from each other. That is what it is discussing criterion validity, whether a skill perform is expected in relation to other variable. Customer satisfaction is something else and customer loyalty is something else. So I have already discussed with you what is construct. So for construct validity addressing, once again I am going to repeat the same sentence for you guys. What is construct? In social sciences, the variables are said to be as the constructs. All those variables which are not measured directly, as customer satisfaction, customer loyalty, they cannot be measured directly. They are said to be as the constructs. So how, when things are not measured directly, how they could be measured, how their validity and reliability could be measured. So construct validity addresses the question of what constructs or characteristics scale in fact measure. Construct validity includes convergent, discriminant and nomological validity. These three validities, convergent, discriminant and nomological, are the kinds of construct validity. So what is convergent validity? Extent to which scale correlate positively with other measures of same construct. How much reliability and customer satisfaction, how much customer satisfaction and customer loyalty are correlated with each other, how much they are same. Discriminant is how much they are different. Nomological, how names differentiate between them. Extent to which scale correlate theoretically predicted ways which of different related constructs. Theoretically, in theory, what is customer satisfaction and customer loyalty, both concepts, how both are different, are same, are correlate in their nature. So what is relationship between reliability and validity? Anything which is not reliable cannot be valid. Anything that is reliable but it is not necessary, it will be valid. So hence reliability is necessary but not sufficient condition for validity. You can better understand from this picture. The first picture shows you here, this is a picture. You can see the target is this one red area, and the firing from the rifle has been, it is very much scattered. So it is neither reliable nor valid. So this is what it has high reliability, but obviously all bullets are not in the red area, so it is not 100% valid. This new rifle sun glare is what, due to sunlight, somehow the person has not been targeting the exact area, but he is reliable but not valid. This is what reliable and valid. So these examples can clear you concept the relationship between reliability and validity. So thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.